What's going on, knuckleheads? So, as you can see, we got a bike on the lift that's not the Road Glide. It's also not mine. Belongs to my buddy. Real badass, served with him in Iraq, and cancer survivor. So, but he is having the transfer issue between the primary and the transmission. So we're going to take care of that today. To get started, we need to, again, make sure our primary screws are going to come loose before we drain the oil out of it. All right, so now that we got the derby cover off, we're going to go ahead and start draining the primary. All right, so while the primary is draining, we are going to remove the floorboard and the heel shifter. I'm pretty sure that the toe shifter will clear, and I never did grab my marker. So I can't find my, my marker. I'm going to use an end mill that I have from somewhere. It's not one I acquired from work. I know that much. At least not the current job. This is going to be a 3/16. All right, now we're going to go and do the floorboard. It's going to be two 5/16. Yep. And you're going to need an extension. These are two different links. Long one goes to the front. All right, so we've got the floorboard off. And now we're ready to start pulling out the primary bolts. These are going to have a couple different links to them, so keep an eye out for that. And again, these are going to be 3/16. Right about now is when I'm wishing I had a little electric. Oh, that's good. Okay, I thought that was a drill. That's just a chuck, or it's a.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. We bought the wrong fucking ones. Luckily, he brought a drill because I don't even have my drill here. So I meant to grab it from work, but I didn't go to work last night. Now we're going to attempt to pull this off here. I put a couple bolts back in it. Well, left one in. You can pull it the rest of the way out. Then restart it. That was actually easier than what I thought it was going to be. If the one you're doing just got ran like this one, it's going to be a little bit warm. All right, so our vent that we're getting ready to put in is going to go right in this area. Pretty simple. We've got a template for it. Tells you where you need to put the hole. So we'll get that figured out. So this template is about fucking impossible to use. So I've got a rough idea of where it needs to be. So that's what we're going to do. No, it needs to be right in the center. And I know it's got to be so far up. Well, I think we got the so far up and in the center. Hit it one more time. Now you will also need a 11/32 drill bit. It's a brand new. Oh, and it's a Milwaukee too. I just kind of wish I had my Milwaukee to go with it. So I'm covering the clutch with a rag. I don't know how much you guys are actually seeing here. So like I said, we got the clutch covered with a rag so we don't get any metal shavings. Go ahead and roll that down just a little bit further. Now we will proceed to drill our hole that we center punched. Oh, this makes me nervous. Drilling somebody else's bike. It wouldn't bother me to do my own. All right, we've got a small hole started. I don't even need to take that fucking thing out. Now we can actually drill the right size hole. Wrong way, dipshit. And there we have it. We've got our hole drilled. We just gotta knock these shavings out. And we successfully, successfully kept all the metal shavings from getting on the clutch, getting in the primary period. So now we gotta take our little tube and we need to wiggle it, start it, right there. And you're gonna have a decently long pair of needle nose with a 45 on them. It might be better if you no, I can see it. There we go, we're starting right in there. Probably should have lubed that before we put it in there.
Pull through to that little raised area, snaps in.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on. That's what I was thinking about lubing up. I'm afraid I'm gonna, there we go. You may have to give it some hand assist from this side to fall right in there. But as you can see, it looks like we measured that perfect. At least close enough to perfect. Now we need to go ahead and finish cleaning out the primary. We'll go ahead and hose it out with some brake clean. don't spray your clutch directly. It's a wet clutch for a reason. Which we got lucky, it looks like. It looks like all the primary gasket came off on the other side of the cover. So we'll need to take it off there, and we'll get ready to put that back on. Ha ha ha! All right, so we'll go ahead and get the primary gasket started. You have 2 dowel pins that this will set on. It's not recommended to use any RTV or any silicone or anything like that. You bastard. This one's got a slight bend from being in the saddlebags, but it'll be all right. If nothing else, you can always use a dollop of silicone just so it kind of stays in place. It should be fine. As long as I don't push in up top, we'll be all right. Now we'll go ahead and spray out the primary cover as well. So our goal here is to start the cover on the 2 dowels that we got the gasket hanging off of now. And there we're started. Get a few bolts in it. We'll look up the torque spec, which it probably has it on the instructions. So we're just going to run these up. We're obviously not going to tighten them. And I think there's actually a sequence to tightening these. All right, so we have our torque sequence. Our torque spec is 144 to 156 inch-pounds. Do not even think about using foot-pounds at 144. You'll snap these bolts long before you get there. If you only have a foot-pound torque wrench, as long as it's a low one, you can go with 10 to 11 foot-pounds. But our first one on our sequence is right here. And 13. Now we're torqued to spec. We will go ahead and put the drain plug back in, making sure there's no aluminum shavings on it. And since we got a new derby cover gasket, we'll be using it on the derby cover. And it also, this kit comes with the derby cover gasket, the tube, the template they can print off for you at the Harley dealership. And it comes with the primary gasket as well. I'm going to guess this was in a cardboard box at one point. It was in a cardboard box so everything stayed flat. New O-ring on the drain plug. Now there's a torque spec of like 27 foot-pounds on the drain plug. Just don't over tighten it. You'll very, very much regret it. Got our little funnel. Now we just want this to the very bottom of the clutch basket. I think you can see that down in there, but we are right at the bottom of the clutch basket. Right where we need to be. Takes right at 1 quart. Now we're going to put the derby cover back on. And there's the torque sequence to it too. It's going to be in a star pattern. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the torque spec was less than 100 inch-pounds. 84 to 108 inch-pounds. Got our top one started so we can let it hang. Five. Now we need to get the floorboards installed and the shifter. Again, long bolt goes to the front. Short bolt didn't have any Loctite on it. We're going to put a dab on it. You do not need to coat the threads to where they look like it's solid blue. Just a little. All right, this torque spec is going to be 36 to 42 foot-pounds. Now we will have to add a little bit. We'll put it on the higher side. Put it about 40 to compensate for the extension. There we go. Now we need to, all we got left is the shifter and letting him take it for a rip. Yes, there's going to be a torque spec on this too, but we ain't too concerned with it. As long as you don't over tighten it, you'll be fine. That is how you cure your transfer problem from the transmission to the primary on your early M8 model bikes. This goes up to like 19.5 that this was an issue. There's one specific cutoff date where they started installing this little vent tube from the factory. That's going to do it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when I upload. I'll see you guys in the next one.